MistrMopar back again with another DIY video. Today I'm going to be changing the engine coils in a 2008 Nissan Xterra 4.0 engine. It's a pretty straightforward job, minimal tools required. The driver's side is a piece of cake. The passenger side is a little more of a pain because of the way the intake's set up, but I will cover that when I get there. The OEM coils for this is your Nissan part number. And this is what the actual OEM coil looks like. See if I can get that to focus on that for you. That's the OEM. So the only thing that holds the coils on, other than the plug on the end of the pigtail, is a 10mm bolt. So on the driver's side, you're going to see them. I know I can't really see if the sun is showing you guys these well, but on the driver's side, across the top of the valve cover there, you're going to see 1, 2, 3 coils. There is a 10mm bolt on the end of each one of them. 1, 2, 3. Pull those bolts out, the coil will come right out. Unplug it, plug the new one in. Actually, you're probably better off to drop it in first, get it set, tighten it up, and then plug it back in. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those, and then we'll go to the passenger side and I will show you what makes that a pain and how to get to them. So I've got the driver's side all finished. Let's see if I can get the new coils, all 3 of them in, all 3 of them tightened up, plugged back in. I did end up pulling this hose here out of the clip just to give me a little more room in there. And now onto the passenger side. So the passenger side is a little more complicated, and again, it's because of the way the intake is set up. So on the rear one, let's see if I can get this here. So the rear one, you can see the 10mm, and you can get on that with an extension and a ratchet, as well as the center one. So it's the front one that's the most complicated. So what I found is easiest is to get a wrench. I've got the wrench on the bolt now. It's not wanting to focus. There we go. So I've got the wrench on it now. The bolt is actually right there. Once it's loose, finger loose, it's really a pain, but you can get in there with your 2 fingers here and just spin it out. Once it's loose, I find it's handy to grab a magnet, put a magnet down in there to catch it so you don't drop it. These ones I'm actually going to get to where they're just about ready to come out, and I'm also going to put my magnet on the end of them and finish threading them out and grab them with a magnet. So I'll demonstrate this. Now the reason I'm doing it with a magnet to grab them is because I have a tendency to drop bolts, and if you've had luck like mine, sometimes you drop them and they seem to disappear, never see them again. So I've got that where it's pretty much ready to come out. Let's see if I can get the camera to pick it up here. Of course it doesn't want to. There we go. And voila. Didn't drop it. Got it. Do the same thing for the other 2. I find that's the easiest. So hopefully this will help, but we're going to pop those out, change them, and we'll recap. So I've got all of the passenger side coils changed now. Another thing that I did do, I mean it's optional for you, but it just gave me a little bit more room, is I took the clamp off the hose that's on the nipple on the back of the intake here, and then I undid this clip and moved this wire, piece of the wiring harness out of the way. It just gave me a little bit more room to work in there. I mean, it's optional whether you want to do it or not. So you got the 1, the 2, and the 3 there in the front. You can get on the back 2 10mm with an extension and a socket on a ratchet. The front one, again, had to use a wrench and get it up into the front. The bolt is right there. Once it's, loosened up enough, I had to get my 2 fingers on it and turn it. You can get a socket on it and turn the socket by hand if you prefer to do that, but there's not enough room to get a ratchet on it, even a small one. I did try, just wasn't enough room. As far as the difficulty, everything was pretty simple other than that front coil on the passenger side. You have to kind of pull it up and bend it a little bit towards the front to get it out. Unplugging it was kind of a pain. There was enough slack on the wire that I was able to, my phone doesn't want to focus, pull it towards the back of the vehicle a little bit. You'll see the bracket that the intake is bolted to. There was enough room to pull it out and unplug it right there. Just be careful when you're plugging and unplugging them. You don't want to pull the wires out of the end of the plug itself. The driver's side was simple. You can see 1, 2, and 3. 10mm bolt. Unplug them. New coil in, plug it in, tighten the bolt up, and you're good to go. Thanks for watching. Another thing I want to add before I do cut this is you can also change your spark plugs the same way. I do have another video on changing the spark plugs in this and my other videos if you would like to see how to do that. The front one, again, was a pain, so was the middle one, but you can get on that with an extension and a knuckle. So thanks for watching. Any comments, questions, feel free to leave a comment.